Okay, cool. So first, Sanjay, I've known you for, God, how many years? 7?
7 years, definitely more than 5.
Yeah. Seven years.
Yeah.
We're at Bladen,
Yeah.
and that's when I did quite a bit of recruitment for you.
That's right.
But I don't want to talk about you for you. So do you want to give us just an overview of kind of, not too long, because I know you could talk.
I could talk.
So if you want to start from the beginning to where you are now, and like 5-minute overview in terms of kind of what you've been doing, how you've got to where you've got to, and what you're doing right now.
Sure. Well, first, thanks for inviting me.
My first guest, love it.
Yeah, brilliant. So I started my first job in 97, started working for Rolls-Royce. I was there in Bristol for 11 years. Kind of worked my way from design development, doing a bit of stress analysis, all that sort of kind of the entry-level roles all the way up into team leader roles. When I left, I was an IPT team leader for a number of design projects. I left in 2008. I joined a small outfit at the time, Alstom Aerospace, which became ITP, based in Spain. I was there for 9 years, and that's at that point I got exposure to a lot more responsibility, a lot more roles. I think going from a very, really big company where you're part of a small department to a much smaller section of a company. There's only about 50 people in the whole office. You get a lot more exposure to things and a lot more responsibility. You just have to run with it. And that's where my career really changed trajectory from purely technical, bit of leadership to majority leadership, and then moving into more of a management, chief engineer, project manager, program manager, that sort of thing. So I was there for 9 years, and then I joined a couple of smaller companies kind of in sequence. The first one's where I met you. We were working at Bladen Microturbine. I was there for 5 years.
So much fun.
It's so much fun. And a similar position, I started as a development engineer, and by the end of the process, I was head of engineering, the mechanical team anyway, design analysis and aero. And again, I was permitted to kind of spread my wings, did a lot of kind of hiring, recruitment, building teams. They went through peaks and troughs, so there was a lot of hiring and so forth.
Standard startups, right?
So it was a startup. Apologies if you ever worked there. And then through a little bit of a loop, which we won't go into, sorry, Sean, I ended up at another startup.
Yes, you did.
Which is still cool. It's called Coolbrook.
Yeah.
Started off as a very small outfit. I was effectively the second recruit in the UK.
Yeah.
There was an outfit in Helsinki, but we were told, go on, build the team, and I was number 2. So the hiring process there and building the team and finding your right role was really chaotic, but a lot of fun. Just go and sort stuff out.
It's because I made it fun.
You made it fun. It was more chaotic before you joined us, trust me.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah. So there's a whole load of little war stories involved surrounding working in startups. But since then, I've become self-employed. I'm now a consultant, and I have a client that keeps me very busy. A lot more focused role, helping them out with certain technical aspects, and I'm not so much into the management and recruitment part of it, unfortunately. But
it's okay.
But I'm here.
Yeah. What would you say is the most, because you've gone from big companies, right? And you've done that, and now you're back at a big company. But what would you say was the biggest challenge that you had when you started working for the startup kind of businesses? What was a shock to the system, would you say?
Wow. That's a straight up question, but the answers are
I know you brought those.
broad and varied. It's a completely different working environment.
Yeah.
And if you take it to the extremes, a large production company with multi-billion-dollar revenue, it's very organization and bureaucratic heavy.
Yeah.
To the point that you are really a small cog in a very large machine, and anything that you do obviously has an impact, but to a real small degree. And that's just the way it is because it's a big organization. When you're in a startup, everything that you do has a major impact. Do or don't do.
Yeah.
It's a very dynamic environment. If you're the type of person who's not willing to take on board responsibility and accountability in a very proactive and dynamic manner, startups may not be for you.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. I've recruited people in startups before. They tick all the boxes. CV looked great. Fell apart.
CVs. That's where we're going to go next.
CV. We should talk about CVs.
Yeah, because CVs are just, I don't like them.
Right.
I hate them. And you know this because it doesn't tell you anything. It's like when you read a job advert, which is a job spec thrown out.
Yes.
It only tells you this is what we need, but it doesn't actually tell you what you'll get involved in and what you need to actually do in the business.
Yeah.
Same as a CV. They literally look like job specs, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're responsible for all this stuff, but what did you actually do? What did you actually achieve? So what's the process been when you've hired in the past? What's the process been? What's it look like?
So I've been involved in the hiring process from large scale to small scale.
Yeah.
Really large to really small. So one of the companies I was involved with, the graduate recruitment, for example. So you'd have recruitment days and 50 graduates turn up, and you do interviews and down selection and all that sort of stuff. So that's a pretty large scale.
Yeah.
And obviously they're recruiting for permanent experienced engineers as well. All the way to the really, really small scale where there's about 2 people and you need to get some designers in and you've got to somehow find CVs and look for people and it's a little bit chaotic and people panic and it goes crazy.
Have you ever been given job board logins before? I've never asked you this question.
Job board login. So, okay, I was given something and I don't know what it was.
What was it?
From someone, a mutual acquaintance of ours at HR. Said, right, this is our process. They would submit the job description to whatever website was out there, and something would aggregate all the responses into a single something.
Okay, into like a portal that you log in.
So I'd log in, and every day I'd get 30 CVs to look at, and it was absolute garbage trash. It was terrible, and that's what I said.
What was the quality of it? So were they relevant CVs? Were they not relevant CVs? Were they? No. Was it just awful CVs?
And I would say that, obviously a percentage of them were relevant and good, but they're drowned out by people who are just applying for anything. So they clearly didn't even read the job description. I'm not saying the job description is perfect, but it would say, oh, we need an engineer, for example, and you're not even remotely that.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of trash. So that was probably the worst experience I've ever had.
How much time do you think you spent going through those CVs? Of your time?
I would say the equivalent of 2-3 days of my time.
And that's a lot.
It's a lot of time.
And that's a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah.
Someone's paying you a salary to get a job
Yes.
done. So by doing that part of your job,
Yeah.
which is the awful part,
Yeah.
what were you not doing?
Leading an engineering team. I had an entire department to look after.
Yeah.
And this was in a startup as well.
Yeah.
So I said about big company, small company. That was almost like a big company way of doing things, but in a very small, dynamic, focused environment, like a startup.
Yeah.
So it's triple whammy. Every hour lost in a startup has a very major impact on your daily and weekly deliverables. You lose an hour in a big company, it kind of gets lost in the mix to a certain extent. So you can kind of get away with it. And I think that's why it was especially difficult and wasteful experience for me, because your time is even more valuable in a small company. Much more. Every hour wasted has a major impact. It does.
It does.
And for me to spend 2 or 3 days equivalent of my time going through 99% useless CVs. Yeah. Okay. What's the impact?
Yeah. No, I get it. So so once you went through the CVs though, you picked 1 or 2 people maybe, got them in for an interview.
Yes.
With their CV sat in front of you and them sat in front of you, were they right based on the CVs? Like what did those people look like?
I don't think it was wholly successful.
Why?
Because we ended up recruiting someone who, on paper and following the interview, they were okay, but they didn't suit the startup environment. So we hadn't invested enough time in knowing the person. I said about a CV is about 40% of the candidate. In fact, skills, knowledge, experience, all that stuff is kind of half the person. The other half is, are they going to fit in? Are they the right sort of characteristics? Are they going to suit a startup environment, or are they more of like a production environment person? So, and I think those issues become more apparent and amplified, again, in a startup environment. So in a big company, yeah, fine, if someone has got like a dynamic personality as opposed to a passive personality, it doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah.
It's
because they get lost in the crowd, kind of ish. There's someone else to pick up.
There's always someone who kind of counteracts that, and in general you get this homogenized characteristic of a department in a large business. In a small startup, even a large startup, you need the right characteristic to suit the business. Really important. So me reading through CVs and hiring someone without really getting the right sort of characteristic was a mistake.
So what do you think you should have done in your process to make it so you were looking at the person as well as their skills? Because I've sat in interviews with you. You're very good at figuring out where they've got the technical capability.
Yes.
Because you're the only person I think I've ever sat with in an internal environment where you're not asking, so tell me about a time. It's more of, right, I'm going to draw something for you. Right, okay. Yeah. And then you it's so amazing the way you do it, because you get to see them and they're a bit more relaxed, because you're also trying to help them figure out what it is that they need to do. Yes. But not by giving them the answer. Yeah. And I can see the way your mind ticks, and you can see the way they're responding. They're like, oh, yeah, well, that wouldn't work. Because you're like, oh, yeah, okay, well done. Right, okay. So what happens if this happens? Yes. And that's you testing their capabilities in a technical manner in a real life situation. Whereas some people will sit there and go, tell me about a time. And anyone can tell you about a time, whether they did it or not. Oh, I solved this problem by doing this, this, and this. Yeah. Well, how did you find that? By doing this. But they might be working with someone who did it all, but they just know exactly how it was done. Yes. But if you were giving them a different problem, would they be able to solve it? Yeah. You don't know, because you're not giving them...
And it's not even about getting to the right answer. Yeah. It's the process.
Yes. Their thinking, how they get to it. Yeah. Yeah.
They never say, I don't know. No. Say, how might I approach this? Yes. And that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about your interview process. So when you are interviewing people, what do you tend to look for? So just say a design engineer, for instance. Yeah. If you were looking to hire a design engineer, what would you be expecting from them in terms of an interview? Working in a startup or a smaller business? Let's start there, because a lot of people are looking to work in those kind of businesses. What do you look for?
First of all, understanding the role is important. And the role in a startup, especially, but also in a bigger company, you're always part of a team. It depends on what's around you. So the definition of the role is really important. So if I am leading a team and I, for example, have all the knowledge and experience needed to deliver, but I need resources to execute, for example, then I can afford to hire someone less experienced, but willing to learn.
We love that, willing to learn.
Yes.
We love that.
That's right. Yeah. and that's a thing. Some people are not really that willing to learn. So, but these are the characteristics you want. If I was hiring for a role and I didn't have that knowledge experience, I need that knowledge and experience. The willing to learn thing becomes quite secondary. Yeah. So the roles and how you tackle it varies a bit. It really is role dependent. Okay. So I've hired for positions where I've got someone who's really keen and dynamic, clearly didn't have all the knowledge and experience. And the interview ended up being me teaching him a few things and watching his reaction, how he took it on board. So what do you think of this? a mutual acquaintance of ours, in fact. And I would ask him questions. He would try to tackle it. I'd show him a way of solving it.
Yeah.
Then I would monitor his reaction. Go, what does he think of it? And his response was, "Oh, this is really good," and it elicited some excitement from him. So that's the characteristic I want.
Great years.
But you picked him. There you
Obviously.
go. Of course.
And that's the thing. I think when you sat in interviews, you have to allow the person to show themselves, because you can't get that when you're asking them, tell me about a time questions, or you put them on the back foot. Tell me about your career. What have you been doing? Yeah. And then they don't even know what you're looking for. So the response you're going to get isn't going to be what you're probably looking for. Yes. So why not just have a conversation about what they've been doing and figure out what they've done in their career and talk about what they've done rather than what they haven't done.
Yeah, I've been in some really bad interviews.
What's the worst one you've been in?
I've been in interviews where I've not been leading the interview, someone else has. Brought in a designer and tell us about this role you're in. And he spent about half an hour really just talking absolute mumbo-jumbo gibberish. I was looking at the guy who was leading the interview, right? He's above me in the chain. I'm looking at him going, why are we here? You know, clearly he's no good. Eventually the interview ended. The guy walked out and my boss turned around and said, well, he was clearly no good. So why didn't you just stop it earlier? You're wasting our times. The other instance, it was like an incident within a pretty good interview. This candidate was asked a particular question: name the three key forms of thermal transfer, or something like conduction, convection, and the third one was, and she couldn't remember it. So he sat in silence for about 5 minutes, expecting her to recall that thing. And in the end, I remember, it was like interview. She was there, and us two were here, and he was looking away. I went, radiation, like that, and she went, radiation. He went, yes, correct. So I was bored of sitting there.
But while you're sitting inside, you can't do that. Yeah. And people, sometimes giving them the answer, they'll go, oh, yes. And you can go, okay, can you explain what it is?
Yes.
And then if they're able to explain it, brilliant.
Yes.
But some people know the words, but they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So then how do you know that they can do what they say they can do?
So those are very fundamental questions. The questions that I ask are actually really nuanced. And I don't expect them to give me the actual answer.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's much more valuable. There is physics behind it. There are fundamentals behind it. But I'll ask them, well, how do you think this works? What would happen if you did this?
Yeah.
Rather than saying, name the forms of all the different forces on a turbine blade.
Yeah.
You say, how would you design the blade to counteract the forces? It's a different question, different nuance. So that's how I tackle interviews. And it depends on the interviewer, I'm really bad at remembering plain facts. Do you know what I mean? So name the basic forms of thermal transfer.
Textbook questions.
Textbook
and
stuff.
I hate those questions. I'm like, why are you asking them?
Yeah.
What are you trying to get from that? That they know how to read
I could hire a physicist for that. I don't want a physicist.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I wanted a mechanical engineer.
Yeah. Someone who's been hands-on.
And that's all about application of those aspects.
Definitely.
Yes.
And it's like when you hire a graduate, the graduates can tell you textbook-wise what they've learned.
Yeah.
But if you were to ask them to put it into practice, would they be able to do it? Maybe not.
And
maybe. You just don't know.
Exactly. And so if you're interviewing for a graduate or an experienced hire, the questions can be essentially the same, but you don't expect the same quality of answer.
No.
So regarding the application of theory, I don't expect a great answer from the graduates, although in the past I've gotten great answers from them.
Yeah.
I expect a better answer from the experienced hire, but very often you're quite disappointed because their thought process has been altered by their experiences. Right? So there's a lot of nuance to it, and it's often hilarious consequences.
So when just say you're hiring for a design engineer, this is where people probably need a bit of help. When you look at a CV, what do you look for? What would be your perfect, this is the kind of stuff I want to see in a CV for me to go, I'm going to get them in for an interview?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I've got some funny stories about CVs.
Oh, go on, then you can give us them.
So, okay. So there are certain things on a CV you don't want to see.
Okay.
Let's get that clear out of the way.
Let's go.
I don't care what you look like. So no photos. You're just wasting space.
Some people like them.
Well, I was told recently that's the modern thing. I'm like, nope.
I think some people started doing it, and then everyone else started just copying.
Yeah.
There's no need to put.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it brings in bias.
Yes.
So remove any type of bias from your CV. Don't have your picture, your date of birth.
Yeah.
You don't need that on there.
Yeah.
You just don't.
I've had CVs with gender, religion, sexual preferences on it.
I've never seen that. Have I seen sexual preferences? No.
No.
Actually, no, I have.
Yes, yeah.
I like if they're married, if they've got kids, I'm like, take that off. Take that
really
rubbish.
have
No one.
no interest. Not only am I not interested, that puts potentially bias into the recruitment process. So
especially if you're a female and you have kids, young kids.
Yes.
Oh, she's a mother.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, not only that, now the candidate can say you didn't hire me because of these things that I just told you about and you didn't want to hear it in the first place. Good grief.
You'd be surprised what's asking interviews though. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to keep my mouth closed.
Yes.
Okay, so none of your personal information.
Yeah, what is it called? Protected something. It's called something.
We'll Google it and we'll stick it in.
We'll figure it out. We'll put a little caption at the bottom. Put it as
down
protected.
here, guys, down here.
Check the description there. Yeah.
Yeah. So what else don't you want to see?
Okay, and it needs to be clear and to the point. I don't care about the length of the CV at all.
So you don't care about the length?
No.
I always say the same thing.
Don't care about it.
Don't care.
If someone says it's going to be a one-pager, you haven't been in the real world.
No.
At
and
all.
You can't tell anyone in one page what you've done because half the page is your profile and your name.
Yeah, that's right. I'd rather have the first page really clear with your identity, who you are, some academic bits and bobs, just as a wrapper.
Do the academics really matter? From experience, does it matter if someone's been to university? And let's be honest, let's have an honest conversation here.
Yeah.
Do people need a degree to be able to be a really good engineer?
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
Right. You may get a different type of engineer. There's a lot of nuance to this again. Because I can look at CV, see where someone has studied, if they're an apprentice or they're a graduate, look at the university they've studied and know kind of what kind of character they're going to have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're being biased there, Sanjay.
The whole thing's biased though, isn't it? There is a lot of bias.
No, there is, 100%.
Yeah.
That's what you recognise it in yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
If you can recognise it in yourself and you're not interviewing people because they're from certain universities, then that's okay.
Oh, I wouldn't interview them. I didn't say that.
No, that's what I mean. I said you wouldn't base your
Correct.
reasoning based on where they studied.
Correct.
Because you can call out your own biases. A lot of people can't though.
Yes.
They'll go, no, I'm not being biased.
Yeah.
Well, you are because you said you're not going to interview them.
Well, my bias is probably the opposite to what you're thinking. Because some of the better universities, the type of graduates that they put into the workplace are really self-confident. They're good.
Yeah.
Academically great. Good grades. A bit too confident, right?
Would you say a bit of an ego?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
Some of them do. They come out and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
45K. I'm like, you haven't got years
Yeah.
experience. You've just done a 3-year degree. Like, where do you think you get 45K from?
That's right.
You're not going to get
I've literally had instances where we've had graduates come in from the better engineering universities, and you have to put effort to take them down a peg or two to do their work so they can do their work correctly.
Yeah.
Some of their drawings, terrible. Some of the how they do the calculations, not great, because they're taught in a particular academic way of doing things.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily suit an industrial workplace where the criticality of your work is much, much higher.
Yeah.
So me as a checker, I used to check all the work. I used to spend a lot of time with some of the new graduates.
Yeah.
Just take them down a peg or two and showing them the way of doing it. It's kind of the military way of doing things.
But I think it's better because at least a lot of them are willing to learn.
Yes.
They might not like it in the moment.
Yeah.
But a lot of them learn a lot that way. Whereas you've got people who are just like, well, I don't like it. I want to do it like this. This is the right way. This is where I've been taught. But it's not right. Like, What can you suggest people do? So when they're in uni, because a lot of them don't do sandwiches, so where they have like a year out in industry. What would you say the best way for them to actually learn how to work in the real world is? If they're not in a sandwich course, they're just at uni during thingy. I mean, they have their summers. They could potentially do an internship, unpaid. I mean, I would have done it if I was that bothered about it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Would you say companies still take people on to do that? Do you think startups have the capacity? Startups, I don't think, would have the capacity to bring people in like that. No. But I feel like that would be a place where we learn really freaking quickly. No.
So, and I'll kind of refer back to kind of what we were talking about just now. When I look at CVs and I've seen someone, for example, has done an apprenticeship, I take notice of that. Because if someone is has earned a degree, by this point, but they started out as an apprentice, they've got a lot of valuable experience there.
Yeah.
I'd bite their hands off. The not exactly a problem, but with graduates, they don't have that industrial workplace experience, which is okay if you're willing to invest that time in developing. So it will take a year, maybe a couple of years to get them to the point where they really can contribute in an industrial workplace to the same level who's already done it.
So what would you look for in a grad then? So apart from where they've just say they're sitting in front of you and they're interviewing, if they had no experience, what would you look for to go, right, okay, this person could potentially be a good, I know they haven't got any experience doing it, putting whatever they know into the real world. What would you be looking for?
I think to a certain extent, you account for that. They've been to university and they haven't got a lot of experience, but you have to demonstrate some level of character in your experience in your CV. And I'm not saying you have to have done work experience in a gas turbine manufacturing plant in order to get experience in a gas turbine manufacturing plant, but it's those other things. So, if you play, say, you play netball, for example, and you've been captain of the team or something like that. It's those other things that do start getting into the mix.
So their extracurricular activities would matter because a lot of people, and this annoys me because a lot of recruiters go, no one cares about what you do outside of work. We do. Because sometimes I speak to grads and they're building stuff in their garages.
Yes.
And I'm like, why isn't that on your CV?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think anyone want to know. I was like, no, because it's engineering. You're doing something outside of work that you love and enjoy, and that's what you want to go into.
Yes.
So even if it's like building Lego, if you love Lego, you'll generally, a lot of engineers love Lego because it's so, and they build their own things and they buy all these parts and stuff. And I think it's amazing. But people don't think about it that way.
No, that's right. So those extracurricular activities, I think, they're supporting evidence.
Yeah.
I think that you do need to try to understand where your deficiencies lie. If you feel there's a deficiency, say you feel like you're lacking skills or knowledge in a particular area, and then try to understand, how do I fill that gap? And it's not for me as a hiring manager to really understand, to tell you what to do. It may be that you get a job at a lower grade for a period of time until you've got the experience, then you can go into what's your preferred position.
Yeah.
Right? You can either work your way up or you can move laterally. Get a different position and then move across.
So if someone wants to go into a design engineer role, just say they haven't got the skills there, where would you say where could they start in a business within engineering?
Sorry, in a specific business or just in general?
Just in general. So just say it was for, I don't know, a clean tech company making generators. Just to say that because we both work there, so it probably makes more sense. Yeah. So where would you say should they start? Where should they be willing to start from? They're a grad, they've got no experience. What should they be aiming for?
Any experience is good. If their aim... So this is where I have a little bit of a bugbear. Clean tech startup, small company, 2 people, and they want people with experience in what? Clean tech startups? What are you after?
Yeah. I don't think they know themselves, Sanjay, let's be honest.
As a hiring manager, I never thought... I used to work in clean tech startup, basically, right?
Yeah.
I never expected anyone to have that experience. So you are looking at for people with transferable skills.
Yeah.
So someone who's working a bit of automotive. So I hired a guy who'd done exhaust systems and fuel systems on cars. So we've got a fuel system, so that's transferable. It's a different scale entirely.
Yeah.
But the thought processes are there.
Yeah.
So my bugbear is hiring managers in startups not thinking like that, thinking, oh, we need all the skill, we need directly transferable skills and knowledge. But you need to start looking laterally, above and below and to the side. At that point, if you want to get into that business, you just need to have some sort of transferable skills, not directly transferable.
Yeah.
So if they're looking for someone who can do CAD, just do CAD. You can do that at home. Mm-hmm. You can download a CAD program and start drawing stuff.
Practice in your own time.
Practice. You can do that. You can get a job, paid or unpaid, working for some company. This is what I said about moving upwards or laterally. So you want to get to a particular point, maybe start a little bit lower down, do a little bit of work, a couple of months, get a placement, whatever, even if it's unpaid, get a bit of experience, show your skills and your ability to learn, and then maybe get into that position. And
this is the thing. I always say to people, if you haven't got the experience, and this is a funny thing, because I'll go, I want somewhere where I can get some, I can get trained and I can learn and I can pick up some skills. I'm like, okay, so what are you doing in your own time to learn what you want to go into? Oh, well, I want it to be funded. I'm like, no, because if you're not willing to actually do it yourself, pick up a book, download free software and actually play around with it to produce some kind of portfolio of what you've done, then why would anyone want to invest in you if you can't invest in yourself? And all you're investing in yourself is time. No one's asking you to pay thousands of pounds for some software. Do you get what I mean?
So smaller companies don't have the bandwidth to invest in their employees.
No.
They just don't do it. And if they do, good luck to them, that's fine. It may or may not work out. But in general, you need people to come on board and just get it done.
Yeah.
So at that point, if you want to get into a company and you're lacking something, you do have to self-invest quite a bit.
Yeah. So is there any free CAD software out there that you know?
Oh yeah, there are. I don't know the names off the top of my head, but there are a number of kind of suitable CAD programs. There's quite a few.
Put them in the comments after, so people know. So you can find out from me and you can write them down. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So what skills or knowledge can people? Because we talked about skills and learning independently. So what skills and knowledge from your perspective can be learned at home, doing stuff on their own, where it can actually be applied to the real world? What kind of, what could people be learning about or doing themselves at home to be able to?
That's a really tricky one. That's a simple question, and there's
so many nuances.
Yeah, I know. Thank
Go on,
you.
Say it. So sorry. God. No,
I said it twice.
I know there's a thing that you say though. It's like me, and I always say literally. So it's the same
right.
thing.
Okay. This is my favourite phrase for today.
It is. It's very nuanced. No, that's your favourite phrase. That's what I've known you for. There's always everyone that I know has something that they always say. Yeah. And I always go, here we go again. Yeah. But yeah, go on, as you are.
So what was the question again? Okay. So okay. So what was the question again? You distracted me.
Sorry. So what skills and knowledge can be learned independently for people to skill themselves up if they don't have knowledge of something or applied it in a certain workplace doing something?
It still says Bladen.
I know. Sorry, I'm Sanjay Bladen. You're in my.
So you can't even say Coolbrook. You say Sanjay Independent Consultant.
I'll change it.
Thank you.
I'll change it.
Sorry, we're digressing now. Stop mucking about, honestly.
This is why we can't work together. Okay, go on. Right, yes. Yeah. So skills. What can people learn independently? Go on, answer for this, Sanjay. This is what the people have come for, given what they came for.
What can people learn independently? It depends on the profile of the job, really. Okay. Again, we can concentrate on design engineers, but very often, looking at a smaller company, you have to someone who's a bit more multi-skilled. mechanical engineers,
Yeah,
do a bit of CAD,
yeah.
do some hand calcs, that sort of thing.
Hand calcs is the bit a lot of people can't do. I find that shocking.
Yes.
So how can people learn how to do hand calcs at home? What can they?
Well,
yeah.
the hand calcs these are things that are actually taught at university.
But people don't know how to do it though.
They soon forget it. They soon get out the habit, and that's because a lot of engineering is computer based.
Yeah.
A lot of analytical software. So when you say what can people learn at home, so when I was recruiting for mechanical engineers, I wanted people, and you saw during the interviews, how does this work? Could you calculate the stress? What's the formula?
Question, yeah.
In fact, I never asked the question, could you calculate? I would say, where is the stress highest and why? But you could prove it using the formula.
Yeah.
And I'd say, here's the formula for it. And look, there's that term over there. So the stress has to be highest here. And they go, oh, okay. Now, a lot of the graduates, not a lot, say half of them would remember that.
Yeah.
The other half had completely forgotten already. And they were graduates and they'd just been taught that maybe a year or two before. So that hand calc, that goodness,
but then it's not
no
just
longer
grads
available.
though. There's people into their career, and when I ask them,
don't use it. Yeah,
they don't
right.
use it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, why not? Or someone else does it.
Yes.
And that's when you go to the larger companies, right? Whereas the smaller ones, it's you're responsible for a bit of everything.
Yes. And I think there's also a philosophical thing in engineering departments.
Yeah.
I've worked in departments before where mechanical design were mechanical design. They did a lot of the work from CAD through to hand calcs to make sure the design was pretty good, even before you handed it over to stress.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. It's a great place to work. But a lot of departments are not organised like that. So it's an organisational thing. You say, these guys are designed, but you're not allowed to touch the calculations or the stress because the stress guys do it. Except they don't do the hand calcs. It goes straight into FEA.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So and because of that, I've seen some really bad FEA because they didn't do the hand calcs to begin with. So this is a philosophical issue I have with how engineering companies are organised. And please tell your startups, sort this out. Do not behave like that.
Well, to be fair, the ones that do behave like that, I don't work with them. So.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
No, it's because you're placing people into these places. You want them to be successful.
Yeah.
You're not going to place people to be on the back foot as soon as they get in.
Yes.
There's just no point. And you know me, I don't like to put people into places. Try not to anyway. Okay. What should people be asking? So, just say they're applying for a role.
Mm-hmm.
What should they be asking you during an interview for you to go, oh, this person is interested? Because I know a lot of people sit there and go, tell us what you know about our business. And I hate that question because I'm like, well, they don't really know that much. Especially if you're a startup, there's not much information about you.
Yeah.
You need to be able to sell to them why they should come and work for you.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people hiring at the minute. Is there more jobs than people? There's more jobs than people.
Right. Okay.
Right? Let's put it that way in terms of skills that they're looking for.
Yes.
So to have the right people join you that you really want, you've got to sell to them. But for them to actually come back and you think, oh, they're actually interested, what kind of questions should they be asking?
In general, more is more. Just ask questions.
But like what? What would you be looking for?
Anything and everything. Whether it's more about the business.
Okay.
Just ask questions about the business. What's your market like? How much money do you make? Just ask the question.
Are you in production?
Yes.
How far are you in production?
So if you're going into a startup, the onus is on you to do that due diligence.
Yeah.
In the end, you are sacrificing other opportunities in your future career to join this startup. That startup should be honoured that people want to join them.
Yeah.
They
but they don't think like that, do
no,
they?
They don't.
They think
no, they don't.
Everyone should want to come and work for us because look at us, we're so cool.
Yeah.
We're making a battery.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so are 20, 30 other companies.
Yes, that's right.
What makes you so different?
Well, that candidate could go and work for some big company, the water board or something,
Yeah.
get a nice stable job, nice pension, okay for the next 30 years,
Yeah.
or risk that startup going belly up in the next 18 months, right? And it's a big risk. I know you pay them, but that's not good enough.
No.
Right? So, but
and a lot of them have really toxic environments.
Oh, yeah, trust me. Yeah, absolutely. or they may start out okay and then they end up toxic.
Because they hire one egotistical person who thinks they know everything.
It's like you're saying this from experience.
Well, been in a few startups.
Well,
It's nuts though, because, and I've seen it happens in big companies as well.
yes.
They love someone because they're so good at their job, and I've seen it happen in big companies where you've got one person who doesn't know how to deal with people.
Yes.
They're really damn good at their job, and they refuse to let them go, but they will lose great people
Yes.
every single month who are really good at what they do because that person cannot manage them properly.
Yeah.
And they just think they're right all the time, or they're treading on other people's toes and doing their work when they're like, "Oh, that's supposed to be my thing. That's what I'm supposed to be doing." Oh no, I'm going to do it because I know what I'm doing, and it's like,
I've even seen people with toxic personalities who are not very good at their job still keeping
even
managerial
worse.
position. That's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's because the senior executives see that person as a cultural fit, as in they're
'cause it's
kind of like them.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, oh, that person's like me,
Yes.
or I know them,
Yes.
and they'll bring people in that they know,
Yes.
and then they get away with murder.
Yes.
And that's why I always say to people, oh, I'm going to look at my network first. I'm like, you're going to hire from your network.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst thing you can do when you try and hire senior leaders into the business,
Yes.
because you start hiring your friends.
Yes.
And just because you like someone and you go for a drink with them at the pub doesn't mean they should be working in your business. Some people you might not even like outside of work, but they might be really damn good for your business.
Yeah. So, as a startup, the guys in charge need to make a conscious decision what kind of culture they want in the business. Is it their own culture or is it someone else's culture?
Yeah.
So if you're a startup and you start recruiting a person from a big company and then that person starts recruiting people from that same company,
Becomes another small...
not naming names,
Yeah, we're not going to name names.
you end up being a mini version of that.
Yeah.
With all the good points and all the bad points. So you need to avoid the bad points. You need to determine what your culture is,
Yeah.
and leverage all that positivity.
Because they want to be innovative. That's the whole reason they started this
Yes,
up, right?
yes.
But if you start hiring people from the same places, they come with the same mindsets, the same
Yes.
problems that they've
Yeah.
solved there.
Yeah.
They're going to do it here.
Yeah.
So you're not actually going to get any further forward. That's why I say hire from different industries, because everyone will look at a problem
Yeah.
differently. And someone who's worked on motorcycles might come in and work on gensets and come up with a really clever
Really
solution.
great idea. Yeah.
Because they're like, actually, guys, have you ever thought about this? And they go, oh, well, actually, no, we didn't.
Yes. Yes.
And this is why I say industry, hiring industry-wide, it just doesn't work.
Yes. And then you start getting into diversity issues, but that's a different podcast entirely.
We'll do one on diversity
We'll do,
soon.
shall we?
Yes, that'll be great.
You'll get me started.
Oh, don't get
honestly.
me started. Oh, God.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, you won't be able to shut us up.
One thing I've noticed is you ask me a question, then we just talk for like 10 minutes and we haven't actually answered the question.
What was the question about? What kind of questions should they be asking? Okay, so what kind of questions should they be asking? But you did mention, you were like, talk about the company.
Yes.
What we talked about, you know,
Yeah,
asking what's their
that's right,
production,
yeah.
how much money they have, how
Yeah.
much money they have,
Yeah.
everybody how much money they have. Because
Yes.
people don't ask that question.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh, well, I didn't know they only had 2 months runway left. And I know a company right now, I'm not going to name names because I don't do that, that
Do you-
have literally
say
no money left.
Okay. And they're hiring.
Probably have like a couple of weeks runway and they're
Yeah.
hiring for 3 people.
Yes.
And they're currently interviewing.
Yes.
And I'm going, what
Yes.
And this is
Yeah.
the great thing about recruiters. Not all of them. I hired for a business based in Leamington and they had like 3-4 months runway left. But when I was hiring for them, I was very honest with everyone that I spoke to. I still hired for them, but I was honest and said they've got 3-4 months left. If they don't get any more funding, that's it. They're gone. 2 years later, they're still running, right? Which is a good thing. But you have to be honest with people. And with a recruiter, you get the whole picture. But when you're going directly to a company, unless you ask the question, they're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
They're just not going to tell you because why would they?
Do your research, and you can check out the company's accounts.
Yeah, go onto company's
Go-
house.
yeah, check out their accounts.
Check out their accounts. Yeah.
See, and they will not be profit making because they're a startup. That's the definition of a startup.
Yeah.
But question it because it's your future and your livelihood. Also, question their technology. They say it's going to be revolutionary.
I love that word.
It's going to what's the word? Disruptive. So this is not a coffee cup. This is hot fluid container, next gen, Bluetooth connected.
You can warm it up with a click of a button.
That's right. You connect it to your phone. It's a smart
Oh my
cup.
God, this is a great idea.
This is it. I've done it. It's not made from any material. It's made from recyclable trees grown in some native forest in Siberia somewhere. It's amazing.
Do you know, that's a great idea. You know, if you just like want to warm
Wi-Fi
it up,
connected.
You charge it up, you press a button, and it heats your drink up.
And
it keeps it warm.
It's connected to Snapchat as well. It's amazing. I've just come up with something. Everyone just do that.
Someone's going to steal it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I've done it. There you go.
Yeah.
So really question their technology. So if you're an experienced engineer, question it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the technologies...
Even if you're not an experienced engineer,
No,
because you can go back, write, and I always say, take a pad and paper with you. You are allowed to write notes,
Yes.
and you're allowed to sit there with questions on a piece of paper, and you can tick them off as they've been answered, if they've been answered through the conversations. But and people are, can I do? I'm like, yes, you can do that.
Yes.
They're sitting there with a pad of paper and a pen. Why aren't you allowed to sit there with a pad of
The
paper and a
interview is a
pen?
two-way thing.
It is a two-way thing.
Absolutely two-way thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So all the points that I've mentioned are really questions to protect the candidate.
Yeah.
You know, ask them about funding, ask them about technology. But just asking clever technical questions, I used to get really impressed by that. So the best question I was ever asked was from it wasn't even graduate, I think it was A-level. It wasn't an interview, but I was showing him around one of the workshops at Rolls-Royce. And he asked me the most clever question for someone that inexperienced. He said, he looked at the front of it was a Rolls-Royce Olympus engine. He said, that's round. Yeah, it's round. This goes in a Concorde, right? Yeah, but where the air goes in at the front, it's square. How's that work then? It's a really clever question, really simple, and it's got a technical answer to it, which I explained to him. I've forgotten, obviously. No, I do know why still.
Are you sure?
But it's to do a 2D variable geometry inlet. There, US. See, still got it.
Still got it. We're good.
So, clever things like that.
Yeah.
Demonstrate obviously an inquisitiveness, a willing to learn, and kind of application of fundamentals. Well, you know, if that's like that, then why is it like this? I love questions that also tax me a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So
makes you think.
Yeah.
Think, actually,
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Thanks for that. Right. Last question.
Oh.
So you mentor.
Yes.
Which is great. What should people be looking for in a mentor?
Yeah, so I think first of all, I'm not saying it's essential, but I highly recommend for everyone to have a mentor. Look for a mentor. I don't, because I'm...
Do they need to be in the same business? Do they need to be in the same kind of work that you do? What does it need to look like?
Not at all. I would say a true mentor is that it's a professional relationship, someone you've got that rapport with. You've got to get on with them. They've got to be the type of person who's willing to convey honest opinions and expertise.
Yeah.
But that exists outside of your working place. So even if your mentor works at the same office as you, they have to give you honest feedback, even if it's to the detriment of the business that you're working in. So I have a mentee. She approached me because we worked together on a particular project. She liked the way that I approach things.
You're very methodical. I think that really helps.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. You'd have to ask her. But
Give me a number.
we were doing things quite differently.
Yeah.
So this is in a big company. The big company tends to do things very bureaucratic, very process-driven. I do things a lot more people-driven, trying to get people more engaged and getting things out of them. And I think she liked that part of it.
Yeah.
And obviously that resonated with her somehow, so she came out and said, would you mind me being a mentor? So we will have regular catch-ups. And in those, generally, it's me telling war stories.
Yeah.
And good or bad.
But that's where you learn from, though.
Yes.
You learn from other people's mistakes, right?
Yes.
So you don't make the same ones.
Yeah, good or bad, absolutely. So my job isn't to coach her. It's not for me to say, why don't you do this? Why don't you put a plan together for this? Why don't you deliver this? And she's come up with me some really great points, really great questions, things that are concerning her.
Yeah.
And I've kind of helped her reflect on some of those.
I love that.
So pick a mentor that you resonate with, and in general, someone who's got a good amount of experience should be more than happy. In fact, they should be humbled by being asked, because if you're in a workplace and you've selected someone as a mentor out of all the people, that's great.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's like,
it
okay,
is. It's a good feeling as well.
So she thanked me for being her mentor, and I said, no, thank you for selecting me as a mentor, because that's part of my development as well.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
and it makes you feel like, oh, actually, I add some value.
Yes.
To someone else.
Yeah.
That's trying to get up the ranks.
Yeah.
That's cute. Yeah. Right. So, because I don't know if it recorded at the beginning, but because it went off, didn't it? But
oh yes.
Rather than talking about your history, what would you say you're really good at doing within businesses? Where do you feel like you've made the most impact that's helped businesses, whether they're small startups or large corporates? What's your thing?
Am I allowed to swear?
You can swear as much as you want.
Getting shit done.
That's not even swearing. I think I said the F word.
It's not sweary enough for you now.
No, it's not.
It's more swearing.
More swearing, please.
Yeah. Delivery, getting shit done.
But in what aspect? So is it delivery of, I don't know, bringing teams together? Is it solving technical challenges, like something that's never been done before? Because I think that's what it is with startups, right? Especially when you go in as a consultant into a business, they have a problem or they're not sure which direction to go in. What can you help people with?
So it's slightly different things. So what can I help people with, and what am I kind of good at, is slightly different things. So what am I good at? That is delivery, getting shit done. And I always say, make progress.
Yeah.
In a startup, you have to make progress. Even if it's 20% not right, you've still made 80% progress, as opposed to making no progress at all, where you've made 0% progress. So getting stuff done, bringing a team together and pushing them forward, getting the right people together, right, we're going to deliver this, and if things are not happening, rolling up the sleeves and mucking in is absolutely essential. You've seen me on the shop floor.
I was going to say, I used to see you
stuff,
on the shop floor just doing stuff. I was like, what are you doing? What are you playing with today?
Absolutely. So that's really key for a startup, and that's kind of that's my thing. What have I done for startups in general? It's like, oh my God, almost all of them.
What's your biggest achievement? What would you say you're really proud of that happened because you were there?
Oh, crikey. This is a bit like this is the interview.
I'm interviewing you. I'm not asking you, tell me about a time. I'm like, what are you really proud of? Tell me, Sanjay, tell me.
I mean, there's loads of, but all the examples that I'm particularly proud of are really kind of similar. Whether it was, I was at Rolls-Royce, I led a team that redesigned a HP turbine blade, and from initial kickoff meeting to delivery of the first part was about 9 months, which is like unheard of at Rolls-Royce. I think it was about 18 months, from initial concept review to delivery of I think it was an 8-stage IP compressor rig for Rolls-Royce. So this is when I was working at Alstom. It was about 18 months. So I led the rotor team. So there were 2 designers on the blades, 1 on the vanes, led the whole thing, got the schemes together. I checked them all, checked all the calcs, built it. I was driving up and down to the build facility, getting parts polished, inspected, built, tested, 18 months. When I was at Bladen, led a small team, we redesigned from first principles, from physics to deliver the first part. I think it was about 6 months, something like that, a brand new fuel injector, with all the headwinds that comes with it. So there's quite a few things, and it's all centered around, we need something. It could be a no shit moment. Kick it off, put the team together, deliver it.
I love that. Look at you, so talented.
Hey.
Way.
Hey to me.
That's it. I think that's us done.